So this is a very lightweight CRM that is based on our database framework, Basic Spread. And I'm not going to talk about the CRM functionality or anything, like the fields and stuff, but that is common in almost all of those CRMs in a very similar fashion. But instead I want to take a quick look at two of the automation features that we have implemented. The first one is the trigger system. So we can define certain actions. Right now it's mostly email actions that we are using. We can define, okay, if that action is triggered, to whom is the email sent? It can be a fixed email address or a group or a user, or a dynamically calculated email address based on the object that triggered this action. Then we have a small template language for the subject and the message. So these are just the actions. And now they can be triggered. There are two ways to trigger an action. The first one is a change trigger. This basically triggers an action when a certain table, in this case the user table, is changed. We can watch if the table has been changed or if a new entry has been added or an entry has been deleted, and we can limit the trigger to only look at a certain field. So this trigger here would trigger as soon as the last login field is updated, which happens, of course, after a user has logged in. And this would then trigger the action a user has logged in. Then we have date triggers. Date triggers are similar, but they don't look at changes. They look at date fields, and if a certain offset to the date field is reached, then the action is triggered. So in this case here, we watch also the user table, and we look at the last login field. Now this field needs to be a date field, obviously. And then the offset, here we define -6 months. So that means if from now, -6 months, the last login field is set to that date, then we trigger the action. So this is the trigger system, which is simple but quite powerful because we can configure any automation on any of the database tables. Then we have next the document templates. I prepared here a small flyer, which I will quickly show for ICCM 24 invitation. So we have replacement markers. Here that will be the name and the tags. And we can define in the database with what they are going to be replaced. And now if we go to, and here we can define on which kind of database object this template can be applied to. We can now go to persons and go to my entry here and the tab serious letters, which is maybe a slightly bad name. And if we download the file, it will be downloaded filled out with my name and here the tags, mission software that are defined on my user. And this is calculated on the fly. So if I go here, edit my tags, I can, for example, add development, save it, and go and download again. Then I will get the filled out values, the new values, mission, development, and software. So yeah, that's how the document templates work. This is an application that we did for an organization. The application evolves a lot around managing different candidate processes, and we will take a short look at it. So we have here one of the main menus, which is listing all the different processes that the system has. There's a lot of managing short-term mission and long-term mission and a few others. Then there's also more department grouped views where data is grouped and displayed depending on the department, like member care, legal things, contract, traveling data. So I will take now a quick peek to the on-felt process, so you get an idea how such a process looks like. The first thing that stands out here is the warning on top. We can define like global constraints for each process that need to be kept, otherwise it will yield a warning. For example, here the insurance dates are not matching with the traveling dates. Then here in the main table we have different columns. Some of the columns display just static data that are relevant for the process, but then the big chunk of the columns is allowing entering and adjusting data and doing some of the business logic. For example, the evaluation documents that are required to be submitted by the applicant, that is on field. The user sees here what date the application would be due, and the user can also check after he has requested the application from the candidate on the field. Once he has requested that or checked that piece, the cell will show that it has been requested, and once the candidate has sent the application and it is uploaded, the field will be replaced with a link to that document that is now stored in the database. Once a candidate has finished the process, he can be moved to a different part of the process system. Another quick thing that we can look at is the detail views. So compared to the basic CRM, we have here now many more tabs with a lot more different kinds of data and information that can be entered and displayed. Also, the part of the UI are heavily customized here. For example, we display the current pond here in the top, where it can be edited directly. We display if the person is married or single, and many other features. So this is just a very small glimpse of all the customizations that we did, the data that we added, and the changes in the UI that we made from the basic framework, the underlying lightweight CRM, and our application framework that we are using. So yeah, thanks.